locking in a 6.75% coupon today, or bet on higher rates. Hello, members, super savers, and bond course fans. I hope you're healthy and well. So the Fed decided to keep rates steady at this week's FOMC meeting, and it seems that there are quite a few bond issuers who may now be betting on even higher rates, or at least not expecting current rates to come down anytime soon. Because at the time of this taping, there are about 16 new issue agency bonds and 38 new issue corporate bonds on Fidelity. That's more than double the amount of new issue agency and corporate bond offerings, even on a very active week. And some of these new issues are paying 6% or higher. Plus, after a longer stretch when they were very hard to find, we're now seeing some non-callable bonds being issued again, which is good news for those of you who are looking to lock in some attractive fixed income coupons for a bit more stability and predictability in your portfolios, especially given the current market uncertainty and volatility. Of course, I know that many of you quite naturally look at government bonds first, so as a point of reference, here's where Treasury yields stand at the time of this taping, with some maturities still below 4%. That said, the 10, 20, and 30-year have moved up a fair bit in recent weeks as the tariff saga continues. And this is fine for many in our Diamond NestEgg community. Treasuries remain the safest and most liquid investment in the world, after all, and are the benchmark even in today's uncertain environment. But some of you have also asked whether we could look into other opportunities that would yield maybe a little bit more as well. So, for those of you who have the risk appetite to move beyond treasuries for a bit of a higher yield, in today's video, I'm going to share with you the top new issue agency and corporate bond offerings that are currently on Fidelity's platform. And while I'm typically a fan of holding my bonds to maturity and don't generally check my personal portfolio every day, as our Diamond NestEgg regulars know, some of you do check your investment balance more often. So towards the end of this video, we'll also have a look at the secondary market prices at the time of this taping for some of the top yielding new issues that we've shared with you previously, including this corporate bond from Jefferies Financial Group with a 7% coupon from last week. As usual, here's our front of video disclaimer. For a detailed disclaimer, please refer to the end of this video. Let's dive in now, folks. As many in our community already know, practically all the new issue agency and corporate bond offerings with attractive rates that we've seen over the past few years have been callable, meaning that if you had wanted to pick up non-callable agency or corporate bonds with decent rates, the only way to do this was to go on the secondary market to look for some older, non-callable issues and see if luck was on your side, so to speak, on your broker's platform. Well, today luck is with you again here at Diamond NestEgg because we found two non-callable new issue corporate bonds for you as well. Another indication that some bond issuers may indeed be betting on higher rates, as I mentioned before. We'll cover these non-callable new issue corporate bonds towards the end of this video. As we so often do, let's start first with the highest yielding new issue agency bond. From Federal Home Loan Banks with a coupon of 6.05%. and a maturity date in May 2055, about 30 years from now, and a first call date in August 2025. Meaning that it's a nice coupon, but we run the risk that the bond will be called relatively soon. In the worst case scenario, if this bond is called on the first possible date in August 2025, we would only get the 6.05% coupon for about 3 months. In the best case scenario, though, if this bond never gets called and we hold it to maturity, we would get the 6.05% coupon for the next 30 years. The CUSIP is 3130B6CH7 for those of you who may be interested. As a point of reference, at the time of this taping, here's the yield on a 3-month treasury, and here's a yield on a 30-year treasury. If you're looking for something with a shorter maturity date, here's another one from Federal Home Loan Banks with a slightly lower coupon of 6%, a maturity date in May 2045, about 20 years from now, and a first call date in June 2025, just 1 month from now. The CUSIP is 3130B6BJ4 for this one. And if you want something with a first call date that's a bit further out, then check out this one, also from Federal Home Loan Banks, with a coupon of 5.9%. Also a maturity date in May 2045, about 20 years from now, and a first call date in May 2026, about a year from now. The CUSIP is 3130B6CF1 for this one. Remember, my general recommendation is that you should only buy callable bonds if 1. You're okay with them being called anytime after the first call date and are not overly concerned about reinvestment risk if and or when that happens. And 2, if you're also okay with them never being called and that you may have to hold to maturity or sell them before maturity on the secondary market. If you check both of these boxes, and yes, they're somewhat contradictory, but if you can live with a callable bond being either called early or not called at all, then callable bonds may be something to consider because of the extra yield premium they typically pay. And if you want to get up to speed on bond investing and building out your bond portfolio as quickly and easily as possible while yields are still attractive, then be sure to take advantage of our May bond course sale. Use coupon code BONDS2025 to get an additional 10% off of a popular bond course bundle before the end of the month. The 10% coupon code BONDS2025 can also be used to purchase bond beginners or bond masters individually. Let's move on now to corporate bonds because there are quite a few currently on offer with attractive coupons. This one here from Jefferies Financial Group has the highest coupon at 6.75% and a maturity date in May 2045, about 20 years from now. Their first call date is in May 2027, about 2 years from now. The CUSIP is 47233WJS9 for those of you who may be interested. This one from Dow Chemical Company has a lower coupon at 6.5% and a longer maturity date in May 2055, about 30 years from now. The first call date is in November 2025, about 6 months from now. The CUSIP is 26054MHR5 for this one. Dow Chemical Company is one of the largest chemical producers in the world. This one here, again from Jefferies Financial Group, has a lower coupon as well at 6.25% and a maturity date in May 2035, about 10 years from now. The first call date is in November 2026, about a year and a half from now. The CUSIP is 47233WJT7 for this one. If you're looking for something with a bit of a better credit rating, this one here from Deutsche Bank has a coupon of 6.1%. and a maturity date of May 2045, about 20 years from now. The first call date is in May 2026, about a year from now. The CUSIP is 25161FFW3 for this bond. Do remember that Deutsche Bank is a GSIB, a global systemically important bank. Jefferies Financial Group, on the other hand, is an independent broker-dealer, not a GSIB. Check out these videos here if you want a deeper dive into GSIBs, Deutsche Bank, and Jefferies. I've linked all of them below in the first pinned comment for you. In case you're interested in American GSIBs, this one from Citigroup has a coupon of 6% and a maturity date in May 2045, about 20 years from now. The first call date is in May 2028, about 3 years from now. The CUSIP is 17290AL65 for this one. And the next one on the list is very similar to Citigroup's. Goldman Sachs' new issue corporate bond has a coupon of 6% and also a maturity date in May 2045, about 20 years from now. The first call date is also in May 2028, about 3 years from now. The CUSIP is 38151FJS3 for this one. Like I said, there are a lot of new issue corporate bonds with attractive coupons right now. For those interested in non-callable bonds, there are 2 from Morgan Stanley that we found for you. The first non-callable one has a coupon of 5.3% and a maturity date in May 2045, about 20 years from now. The CUSIP is 61760QTS3 for this one. The second non-callable one has a lower coupon of 4.9%, but a shorter maturity date in May 2035, about 10 years from now. The CUSIP is 61760QTP9 for this one. Again, at the time of this taping, here's the yield on a 10-year Treasury, and here's a yield on a 20-year Treasury. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, while I'm typically a fan of holding my bonds to maturity and don't generally check my personal portfolio every day, some of you do. So here's a quick look at the secondary market prices at the time of this taping for some of the top yielding new issues that we've shared with you previously. This Jefferies Financial Group one has an ask yield of 6.725% at the moment versus 7% at issuance last week, and an ask price of $100.25 versus $100 at issuance last week. This other Jefferies one has an ask yield of 6.306% at the moment versus 6.5% at issuance last week, and an ask price of $100.35 versus $100 at issuance last week. This is meant to show you that yields and prices do move after issuance. It does not mean that the yield of all new issues go down and their prices up after the issue date. This just happened to be the case with the Jefferies bonds. Yield and price movements after issuance will be dependent on a number of different factors. In any case, for all the new issue corporate bonds that we talked about today, be sure that you're okay with the specific issuer, their credit rating, and the first call date. And do take note of factors such as the minimum and maximum purchase quantities, whether a bond is convertible, as well as whether there are any additional fees that your broker may charge. Most of the leading brokerage platforms such as Fidelity, Schwab, and Vanguard do not charge any fees for buying new issue agency and corporate bonds online. But it's always good to check on the fee section for certainty before you click that buy button, especially if you're with a smaller broker. If you want some guidance on how to navigate the agency and corporate bond search on Fidelity, Schwab, and Vanguard, I've linked all these videos in the first pinned comment below for you as well. Please also note that some of the new issues that we've shared with you today from Fidelity's platform may not be available with your broker. So drop a comment below. Are any of these interesting to you? Are you sticking with Treasuries? Or are you betting on higher rates? Or something else altogether? All right, members, super savers, and bond course fans, I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something new. And as always, if you want to learn more about how to build a stable, predictable income stream in times of market uncertainty and volatility, then check out this video here on our bond courses. Use coupon code BONDS2025 to get an additional 10% off of our popular bond course bundle before the end of May. The 10% coupon code BONDS2025 can also be used to purchase bond beginners or bond masters individually. I've linked all the details on our bond courses and our YouTube Super Saver membership below this video for your convenience. See you again very soon with more brand new wealth building content for your financial journey.